What up? What up? Welcome back to the Sleuth Intuition channel. I'm your host, Patrick Vallejos. My friends call me Sleuth. Today we will be discussing the Delphi case. What is up, Brad? Good to see you. Sparky, Big Bird, Phil, CJK, Miss Thang. What's up, Beach Fairy? And Jill Moser. Well, today is going to be a little bit ski wampus. No real rhyme or reason. I think I want to play a little bit of devil's advocate with Brad Holder. So we'll touch on that. We'll touch a little bit on some of the sketches that were supposedly included with that leaked pile. We'll go back to the pedo ring, the CSAM ring talked about within the Keegan Kline transcripts. We'll do some theories and some speculation. What's up, Lone Pony? What you up to, Miss Thing? Rapper says, I reported this channel by... I reported this channel? Why would you report my channel? Tattoo, what's up? D. Ashley, CJK, Charlotte, Jerry. Shout out to Southern Indiana. Cindy. Chico's mummy. Hello. Sensei Sleuth, this is a karaoke dojo, not a knitting class. You don't come in here, drop a challenge, and leave, old man. Now you get the boy on the mat, or else you and I are going to have a major problem. Not fair odds. I think he says something like that. This your dojo. Classic. Peruvian, what's up? Miss Thang says, oh, geez, they're starting early today. Yeah, what the hell was that all about? Why would you... Why would you report my channel? All right. I dropped something, but I don't see it. Oh, there it is. It was my lighter. I thought maybe I dropped it in the trash. I was like, oh, shit. I'm like, I'm not going in there. Just hocked a loogie in there. What's up, Saska? Don't worry, Charlotte. That person's been booted. Anything I like? Hello? Thank you, Beach Fairy. I'm already listening to Christmas music, too. What's up, Devoted? Sparky, Kim Possible. No, that was a good one, Sensei. What's up, Jamie? What's up, Tech Death? Says gloomy as fuck here too. Nasty. You guys getting hit with a lot of snow? Sparky devoted 63 clocks. Solar Chef Steph. Buried in baking. But it smells good. I love that smell. Solar. I missed a troll. Yeah, some guy named Rapper or girl. They're like, I reported your channel. Bye. Then I blocked them and then they kept trying to type. I thought you said you were leaving. Good to see you, Jerry. Charlotte. Sharon Parker. Excuse me. What's up, GP? Tech Death. Not a fan of Christmas music. Now I got to teach it all month too. Just learn to enjoy it. Maybe put a spin on it, your own little spin. Maybe save that for the end of the class. So here's the basic version, and here's what you can do with it. Rain and gloom. We don't get much snow here. Yeah, we got some rain yesterday. Oh, good thing I brought in all my power tools and my saw. Julia says, I'm not sure if there's something wrong on my end, but I can't hear any sound. Check the mute button and check your volume. If that doesn't work, exit and come back in. Finicky. All right. I really don't know where to start. Right. We can start here. I was talking with Frank and Fig in the Discord. Let me share my screen. That might help. Whoops. There it is. Okay. So this is from Douglas Rice. Rest his soul. Now, he was pretty big into the Delphi case. He was local. He worked a lot with Julie Melvin behind the scenes with Hannah Shakespeare. But most importantly, he had a way with communicating and figuring out the case. So he was already doing his own interviews with the witnesses, before they were ever announced or verified. And according to him, this is what one of the witnesses put together. A lot of talk of a short-billed hat. We know Richard Allen's little beanie has a little short, small bill or something that appears to be a bill in the front. So if you take that beanie, put a hoodie over it. Let's see what they said here. I guarantee you she gave what I posted to law enforcement within the first few days. And when they released it 5 months later, law enforcement had changed it. And all of the changes were just guesses and obviously don't seem to have ID'd the killer. So I think this is why we have a consistency within the sketches when it comes to the eyes. Because I believe he had his hood up and his lower face covered, or something wrapped around his neck and his face kind of tucked into it as he walked. You know, you can kind of just tuck your chin in a little bit and just allow that whatever's wrapped around your neck or coming up under your chin to just cover your lower face. But he could have also had it covered. But it does look like Richard Allen, in my opinion. But I think Douglas Rice had this part wrong. He said it was all guesses. I don't think so. I think what they did was they put together what they thought was the best description out of the best group of witnesses. And then they kind of Frankensteined it, pieced it all together. All right. So this is Doug Rice again talking about the witness. This is exactly what the young witness I spoke with on several occasions described seeing. So now this is him walking from the CPS building to the bridge. But I believe once he gets to the bridge, this is going to come down off of his face and the hood is going to come back off. And he's going to most likely light up a cigarette. Douglas Rice says, short billed hat with a hoodie, right? Short billed hat. And a scarf below his nose. So yeah, he's got more of a scarf wrapped around his neck. Or it could even just be something white wrapped around, maybe even a t-shirt or a sweater or who knows. Or just a scarf, right? 40s to 50s. Now remember, guys, this is way before Richard Allen was ever identified. Look at this description here. 40s to 50s. Now that's much more accurate. Around her height, 5'6", 5'7". So pretty short. And she was the one whose description was behind that first sketch. But as you can see, law enforcement took their own liberties with it. They weren't taking their own liberties. They were combining different eyewitness accounts. Now, what they should have done is really focused in on this one. And I think Douglas Rice was hitting the nail right on the head. And I guess if he had his way and he was running this investigation, he would have focused a lot more in on this. 2020's hindsight, but I mean, wow, that's accurate. Right around the age 50 at the time. 5'6", I think is pretty spot on. Crazy. Cold truth, I'm a Grinch. Are you having a Grinch Christmas? I'm so in the spirit right now. I spent like 20 minutes searching the radio the other day when I went to go pick up the girls from school. I was like, there's got to be a Christmas music station going on right now. Sure enough, I found a good one. Peruvian, any different for you to manage your lives covering other cases versus Delphi? Yeah, very different. When I do my other lives, like True Crime in the Morning, I do a lot of overview, case summary, go over all of the basic information, kind of hammer that down a lot, get a little repetitive with it, and then once you get all the facts in, then you just start hitting them with all the different stuff, and basically that's how I let these cases unfold for myself. So I just kind of repeat what I do for myself to the audience, I guess. Julia figured it out. Technical difficulties. Carry on. Proceed. Cindy Hudson says, I report this channel to all my friends to listen to. Oh, then maybe I shouldn't have blocked it. Maybe that's what they were going to say. I reported you. Oh, did you now? Where? To the coolest YouTube channel ever. Oh, well, why didn't you start with that? Yeah, not every year I'm in the mood. This year I am. So this is something that was sent to me this morning. I didn't want to talk about these sketches because you always want to consider the source, but a lot of information has kind of come out showing that it's probably legit information. And I did my best to reach out to Trooper Bryant, but he didn't want to comment on any of this. So there's that. And I think even the fact that there was no comment was kind of more like verification, maybe. And then also, Fig sent me this. See if I can find it. And apparently, these are Trooper Bryant's other sketches, not relating to the Delphi case, but just sketches that he's done. So I guess it'd be easy to look at these and compare them to some of the sketches that he's done. So let me see if we can get both those up. I don't know why, but this one kind of looks like Dan McCain to me. Okay, so Holman, he was sitting on stage with some folks at CrimeCon, and he was asked about these sketches. And he said, well, a lot of the witnesses there, the sketches ended up being really Mike Patty. And he was like, well, I'm not saying that Mike Patty had anything to do with it. He's saying, well, people that were there around 4:30, between 4:30 and 5, they would come forward and say, well, I did see a guy there. Because, you had Derek German, Mike Patty, Cody Patty, had a few people walking around searching before the search officially started. So, and it takes weeks to even make that determination. You got to go get the sketch. Now that you have the sketch, you got to go set an interview with somebody. And then once you have that interview, then you got to come back and verify information after you've gone back to the previous source. So 6 weeks have gone by and you've determined that part of your sketch is no longer viable. It was one of the searchers. So when they took Doug Rice's sketch that he was talking about, that the witness provided with the face covering, and this would be one of the young girls that he passed, right? Remember the three girls that were leaving the bridge? And according to the probable cause affidavit, the bridge guy was coming as they were leaving. So now, if they take what she provided, and then somebody that saw, let's say, Mike Patty, which is kind of what this looks like a little bit, or maybe even this, or even all of it, you end up with this. Jill says, I am the Grinch. I hate holidays. Cold Truth says, Doug was jerk, but he was as factual as possible. His group was good. I got booted, but I think it's still active. Yeah, I mean, he was really doing it. He wasn't playing around. What's up, Frederica? Boston, what's up? Who is Douglas Rice? He was a gentleman who was looking into the Delphi case early on. He's a local person. And he started a Facebook group and got so embedded in the case, he actually was interviewing all of these juvenile witnesses, way before anybody else. He created his own lineup. I might have that video I did on Douglas Rice. I think I called it Doug's Lineup. Yeah, here it is. Doug's Lineup movie. This might be it. Let me check it real quick. Okay, yeah, this is it. So this might help a little bit, I guess. Hopefully the music's not too loud. I can't remember. Can you guys hear that? Douglas Rice was a Vietnam War veteran with a passion for music. This South Bend, Indiana resident also had a passion for the Delphi case. Doug passed away March 9th of 2020. God rest his soul. Before Doug passed, he was hard at work searching for answers in the Delphi double homicide investigation. Doug was able to speak with one of the witnesses mentioned in Richard Allen's probable cause affidavit and also mentioned in the Delphi Lost documentary long before the public knew anything about it. In this video, we will talk about Doug's lineup.
Thanks,
I forgot
Devoted.
to mention this in my last live stream, so I decided to make a quick video. Doug Rice stated he put together a photo lineup consisting of local deviants and POIs circulating the internet. I'm assuming it looks something like this. The young witness, according to Doug, pointed at Jimmy Duvall, a convicted sex offender released from prison in 2007. The witness said she can't be sure if this is the same guy she's seen on the trail, but he is definitely the closest out of the bunch. Interesting thing about that is, Richard Allen and Duvall look like brothers. Looks like this witness got a pretty good look.
So, just a little bit on who he was. I think I have that lineup, but basically, what he did was he took this lineup of local um, persons of interest, I guess, and he put them all together. And out of that lineup, this person picked Duvall, who is a convicted violent sex offender, did his time, was released, and actually is very connected um, to Libby's side of the family quite a bit. But apparently, blood, hair, um, lie detector, all that stuff was done on this person. But she said not him. You know, when she saw the lineup, the young witness said it's not him. But if I had to pick, that's the closest person right there. It looks just like Richard Allen. Thanks, Charlotte. We got a sponsor. Appreciate that. Cindy says, let's all stop saying the F tree. It's a murdered child's blood tree. Saying F tree is giving credibility to the defense. I agree to an extent. I mean, it would be good to change the name, but it's already there. But I get what you're saying for sure. True crime talk with Frank Meister coming through with the super sticker. Thanks, Frank. And I think this is the one that Mel said looks like a, would you say a crackhead or a tweaker? This one? I guess it could be Richard Allen if he was wearing his little beanie cap. And we don't know what was going on with his hair, but he's obviously has curly hair. So maybe it was long at that point in time. Thank you, guys. And the members giveaway live stream will be on the 27th. Not sure what time yet, guys. Just FYI. Oh, yeah, Gilligan from Gilligan's Island. This photo kind of shows another side of Richard Allen. Pretty sure that is his CVS uniform. Pack of cigarettes, not sure what type. Sitting right there in front of him. Tattoo says, I think that looks like Abby's boyfriend. Yeah, kind of does, huh? or even his older brother. They do have similar features. Very skinny. What's up, Michelle? Marlboro 100s. Cigarettes are nasty. I can mess with a cigar from time to time, or maybe a cigarette from time to time, but it's been a long time since I had a cigarette. All right. Let's see. If we're going to jump into Brad Holder, into that topic, I guess we can pull up the memorandum. Chico says Rick is a chameleon in my eyes. He looks completely different without a hat. Yeah, he looks completely different anytime you see him, and anytime the lighting changes, if he changes the position of his head, if he's looking up or down. And here's a question that nobody's really asking. Where's Richard Allen's social media? You know, everybody's like, well, how did he stay so far underneath that radar? How was he flying so low? Well, he got rid of all of his social media. I mean, think about it. If he kept his social media, all you online sleuths would have found him long ago. So why is nobody asking that question of, especially those who are trying to say that he most likely is a free man being set up? I'm going to ask you folks, where's Richard Allen's social media? What happened to it? I mean, it's possible he got rid of it for other reasons. I mean, all of his friends that he was surrounded with all had heavy social media footprints. So I'm going to ask the question one more time. Where is Richard Allen's social media accounts? Why are they gone? Oh, where is Richard Allen's social media? Oh, where did it go? When did he get rid of his Facebook? I'm not sure. I was told around the time of the new direction presser. I was provided with I was told was a Richard Allen Facebook post marked 2018. But I can't verify it. His wife's all over Facebook, his daughter's all over Facebook, his son-in-law is all over Facebook, his mom is all over Facebook, his brother's all over Facebook, his brother-in-law is all over Facebook, his best friend is all over Facebook. Where's Richard Allen's Facebook? Hmm. All right, let's dive into the memorandum and the information they provided on Brad Holder. You know, Pandora only comes out of the box, unfortunately for Brad. Chico says someone his age is bound to have a Facebook. Really, some women will not let their husbands have a Facebook. Sparky says he deleted all social media, but I think he had alt names possibly everywhere. Oh, yeah, that reminds me. I wonder if I can find it. All right, let's see if I did a good job titling this so that I can find it later. Of course not. But I think I know where I put it. Nope. I guess not. Well, anyway, it was basically this guy who was running around these Facebook groups because I used to have a Facebook group and I was part of all the Facebook groups. I don't really do Facebook anymore. But there was this person who would come into the groups named Richard Allen Hill and later would come back and delete all of his comments. So, really, the only way somebody actually found a thread where people were communicating with him and were tagging him and using his name and responding to him. That's really the only trace of this person named Richard Allen Hill. So it's just strange that the guy's name was Richard Allen and then, guys down the hill, his last name's Hill. And it could be unrelated. I just thought it was very weird. The questions were all pretty much pertaining to the gun. Oh, what did they say in the video? Did they say that there was a gun? A lot of the questions from this Richard Allen Hill character were about the gun. Like, oh, have you seen the video? Did they see the video? Did people say that there was a gun? And then somebody'd always jump in the chat and say, oh, well, it's not verified, or, and then you had Becky, who was upset about all of that, talking about, well, I'm not going to comment on that part because law enforcement told me basically to shut up about that part of it all. They don't want this guy getting rid of the gun. And it's just strange that this Richard Allen Hill character was asking a lot about the gun. A lot about the gun and a lot about the details within the video and what law enforcement might be withholding that was within that video. And why would this guy go and delete all their comments? Very strange. So it's funny that you say that, Sparky. What's up, Cindy? What are you up to? Hey, Jamie. Yeah, where the hell is it? I mean, is there a way to find archived Facebook? I thought that was a thing. Sparky says, my husband hates social media. Party says, I have a friend whose husband wants nothing to do with Facebook and have quite a few friends, a couple being pharmacists who also won't do social media. Is it that they won't? Did they ever do social media? I know some people won't mess with it. Kate says, just knew he did have a Facebook account at one point. That's what I'm being told by a few different people who are local to Delphi. But man, I wish I could just prove it. I'm not going to spend all that time on it if I can't prove it. Turns out, it's not true. Maybe he didn't have a Facebook. Maybe he turns out to be innocent and he deleted his Facebook because he got in a fight with his wife about something, or somebody hacked it. Cindy says, and nothing from his daughter, son in law, and family proclaiming innocence, even now with people jumping on board fighting for him. Yeah, you think that would have brought all of them folks out of the woodwork. That's a good point, Cindy. You know, they were setting the tone and the atmosphere for that, but it never happened. Chorizo and eggs. TGIF, my friend. Yep, always a gun question. I wish I could find it. I just don't want to sit here spending all day. And I was just looking at it too. Oh, you know what? Maybe it's in my downloads. No, I'll find it and have it ready for our next live stream. Okay, here's another question. So I was listening to some of the old podcast where Mike and Becky Patty would come forward and they would kind of lay out the timeline and kind of explain what happened that day. The way it sounds to me that Abby and Libby were very motivated to get to that bridge. Do you think that that's normal, or do you believe they were being lured there? Sylvia, what's up? Agree with Sparky. He must have some aliases out there, ghost accounts. Yeah, you guys remember the troll account I showed you, the Beleth Gremory? Now it's most likely just some stupid troll, maybe another YouTuber or something. But what if it is somebody like Richard Allen? That'd be creepy. Kate Liss says almost all the people I know got off Facebook. I got off for a while, but I just kind of made myself invisible unless someone messages me. Cindy, same with Kathy Allen, social media silence for a long time for her normal. I was all over it before she took it down. Mm, let's see here. I might have a few pieces on there. This is a post from December 15th, 2016. And remember, her brother died, her younger brother died of complications from an accident, a motorcycle accident. Woke up with heartache, literally heartache for all of my past relatives and missing them so much, especially during the holidays. I'm okay 1 minute and instantly crying the next. Missing my brother so much right now as I shop for holiday gifts and remembering how much he loved Christmas. Only his gift this year is a damn wreath for his gravesite. I'm still angry. I know he is in a much better place, but it's still hard for us here on earth to come to grips with the loss. I want all of my family. That was really it. So I can't find any information. There was no news reports about what happened. You know, how did the accident happen? Who did he cause the accident? Did somebody hit him? You know, are they trying to hold somebody responsible for that? Yeah, it could be Julia, but it's just really weird. Richard Allen, why would he? uh, I don't know. Does it make sense for him to use his real name? Maybe he's stupid. He's not that stupid because I'm starting to think he might have actually brought them girls down to the river and used the water. Maybe that's why he was dressing them. He planned to dress them both after he had cleaned off all of his, any trace of himself in that creek. Beach Fairy, a lot of creepy older dudes trying to cheat on their wives on Facebook. Is that a thing? I would think Alex could have dug up Richard Allen's Facebook. Hey, what's up, Lynn? I used to have a screenshot of it. Tattoo says, would the Wayback Machine be able to get his deleted Facebook? Is that what it's called? I know there's a way you can get archived Facebook stuff, but I don't know a whole lot about that. Oh, that's creepy, Beach Fairy. This is also from Kathy's Facebook. They were in Tennessee in 2018. Looks like JC's bar was open at this time, September 13th, 2018. When did it close? Does anybody know? Hey, what's up, Kevin? Sleuth, I'd love to hear the podcast where BP and Mike Patty said they were motivated. They always made it seem like it was so impromptu and spur of the moment. I'm not sure if they made it seem motivated. To me, that's my opinion. They wanted to get there. It was spur of the moment because Kelsey was spur of the moment. She popped out of nowhere and was like, okay, guys, I'm going to go to my boyfriend's and then I'm going to go to work. And then that's when the girls jumped all over that. They're like, this is our opportunity. This is our ride out of here to where we need to get. So to me, the only thing spur of the moment was Kelsey letting everybody know that she was going to go to her boyfriend's first. Because they came to Becky way earlier than that. And we're like, hey, we want to go do some things. Can we get some help? And she was like, well, yeah, you're going to do some work for me first. And then I'll think about it. So to me, in my opinion, not to mention they were up late all night, they were plotting something. That's just my opinion, that they were highly motivated. Can you guys see that okay? Okay, let's see. They start here. Who was Brad Holder? He was an Odinite whose son Logan had been dating Abby. Brad Holder's social media posts seemingly taunted the very police that refused to fully investigate him. The defense believes that the court will be shocked at the number of clues or Easter eggs, both before and after the murders, that Holder openly posted on his Facebook page that pointed the finger to his involvement in the murders. So let's start with this. Now, there's only one reason we're even talking. Well, a couple reasons, but really it's this. Right? It's the so called runes. The runes left at the crime scene. Right. So this is apparently the configuration of the sticks left at the crime scene, along with the F tree. This will be the sticks flipped upside down. Now, these images down below are from Brad Holder's Facebook about 4 or 5 months prior to the crime, maybe less, but before the crime in 2016. So, first, you would have to believe that this, what you're seeing here, is the same thing as this here. And I don't even know what part of this is included in this. Did he place these here, or is he taking just photographs of things that are random? This doesn't look random. See, I don't even know what's included on this one. You have like a stick down here. Looks like Chinese writing. So you might have a contender here.
Our top story this morning happening right.
Sorry, didn't want to go that way. Boston says day off school. Everybody was going to be there at the High Bridge at the same time. They could have been lured to the High Bridge, but why? Knowing how crowded it would be that day. Well, they knew that their friends were going to be gone by the time they got there. And that seems to be true. By the time they got to the bridge, everybody was gone. Yet they were still there and they were crossing that bridge. No friends in sight. Cindy says, I belong to the Facebook group that Richard Allen Hill posted to. They did report it to law enforcement. Good. Yeah, he was in a couple groups. Devota says, Alex thinks Richard Allen was scrubbing his presence online. He said he'd have to be doing it regularly. He's basically a ghost online. Yeah, he is. Charlotte says, this was so planned in my view. Part of his fantasy was the planning. I agree with that. More so, really, without doubt, obsessed about it. I think the girls were at the bridge by design. I think so as well. And I don't know if he fantasized about it. I think he was more motivated not by his own fantasy, but I think by something else. I'm thinking down the road, we're going to find out a lot more about some kind of a relationship between him and one of the girls. And I don't think he was using the Anthony Shots account to pursue the relationship. I think he was using the Anthony Shots account as a tool to lure them. He had already made the decision. So the relationship, in my opinion, most likely happened prior to Richard Allen, if he's guilty, seeking out. He made his plan. He picked his location. He knew exactly how he was going to do it. He knew why he was going to do it. There was just one thing. How am I going to get them across that bridge when I need them to? I can't kidnap them. I need to lure them. Well, how can you lure someone? That's when he remembers such and such. Whether that's Keegan Kline or somebody connected somehow to Keegan Kline or somebody connected to the Anthony Shots account. Could be Keegan Kline directly. And I think that's why we see the ski mask event. We see Anthony Shots reaching out to Libby while she was with a family member of the same person who was part of that ski mask event, because I believe the person in that ski mask was Richard Allen. He talked to Keegan Kline and said, who knows that you are Anthony Shots? And he said, well, the only person who might know is this person. Now, that person is the same person where this, a guy shows up wearing a ski mask. So I think it's very likely that Richard Allen, if he's the guy on the bridge, he's also the guy in the ski mask. He is highly motivated, and this is still all part of his plan. He's going to take care of that, and then he's going to go take care of that. And then I'm home free. I get to keep my marriage. I get to stay out of jail. And things get back to normal. And that's what happened for 5 years. Chico's, the only thing that stops me believing it was arranged is I feel Libby's phone should have given up much more. I don't think so, because I'm having a hard time nowadays thinking that Libby is the target. We used to think Libby was the target because we didn't know a whole lot about the crime scene, what may have happened. Anthony Shots was reaching out to her first, but I also think that Anthony Shots was reaching out to Libby because maybe they were targeting Abby. Let me get in close with Libby, ask her well, what do you know about this? What have you heard? You know, the same way you would groom your victims is the same way they were grooming her. Uh, and this is all hypothetical to target Abby. Richard Allen lived much closer to Abby. Richard Allen and Abby's mother have mutual friends. Richard Allen spent time at Abby's mother's place of employment. So he just seems like he's much more connected there. And if somebody was going to bring a wolf into the hen house, it would be somebody more closely related, I think, with Abby. And if it plays into my theory, which is there was an inappropriate relationship, and then the Anthony Shots account was used as a tool to lure his victims that he knew he must silence. So I think that came first. Julia says, in my opinion, this appears to be a targeted crime, but I feel like the girls would have at least mentioned something to some of their other friends if they had been planning to meet someone there that day. Well, apparently they did tell a couple people they were planning to meet somebody. But there could be a lot going on behind the scenes, you know. Something bad could have happened to one of the girls. That could be extremely embarrassing. You know, they could have made a promise to each other. Do not say anything. Don't tell anybody. You know, I have a plan. I'm going to do this. I'm going to take care of it. You know, I'm counting on you. You can't say anything, but you have to come with me. You know, who knows? There's a big piece that I think the majority of what happened, we don't know. And I'm just hoping that it all comes out in that trial. But if you ask me, those are what my instincts are telling me. That the pieces that we haven't seen yet, those are them. What's up, the real Pacine Predator? Kevin says, I agree with you, Sleuth, about them plotting and being highly motivated to get to the bridge. I've always thought the trip was planned far in advance. Yeah, I'm thinking weeks. I think when the whole Anthony Shots thing came into play is that's when the grooming began. And it wasn't grooming really to obtain photos, even though they were going to try. I think the main thing was to get them to that bridge. Or maybe even not even to get them to that bridge, just gain access to them. Gain access to maybe even just their day-to-days, you know, their day-to-day activity. And if they're online posting, hey, we're planning on going to the bridge, you know, all they really wanted was to be Snapchat friends and have some kind of window into their world. But either way, I'd still believe it was a tool used to target and to get them to that bridge. Because we know that Richard Allen would hike there often. That's what it says in the memorandum. In the memorandum, sorry. It says Richard Allen often went to the trails. So when he made the decision that he was going to become a killer, he knew where he would do it. He made the choice that, okay, I have to kill to silence, hypothetically, right? I know where I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it at, you know, at the old high bridge. I'm sure he's crossed that bridge many times, hiked down to that creek, looked around, thought about, you know, when he decided he was going to commit this murder, that place is the first place that popped into his head. He said, I can do it right here. I can do it right on the south end of that Monon High Bridge. Okay, how the hell are you going to get two teenage girls there? I know, I'll lure them. Well, how are you going to lure them? Well, I'll use my creepy friend's fake account that he's been using for some time now. He's never gotten caught. Hey, what's up, Ray? Tony Ann says, "Whoa, Richard Allen posted to a Facebook group." I don't know. Some guy named Richard Allen Hill. And I think it was Richard Allen, no spaces, space Hill. Yeah, I'll have to find that. It's pretty interesting. But ultimately, you'll have to be the judge on that one. Hey, Maureen. In Hannah's video, Max said something about a 40-some-year-old bothering Libby online. Could that be Richard Allen? It could be. And remember, she said she was asking Max for help with the situation, and then he said, well, she told us that she had it all figured out. So maybe they had a plan for something. Maybe their plan was just to get this creep on video. They had no idea, they didn't expect what was going to happen. They were in over their heads. Like, yeah, we'll do what you say. And then boom, as soon as we got you over there, we're going to get you all on video. And then we're going to put you on blast. And then they saw that gun and they were like, oh, shit. This is not what we expected. Or they could have just been expecting some cute guy. Sylvia Sleuth, because of all the scrutiny with the defense team and the judge, wishful thinking, wishing they would curtail the gag order so the media can interview Doug Carter, Allens, Doolan, and Leggett. Yeah, once that gag order is dropped, they'll be able to do interviews and things like that. Because as a witness, you can be under gag order, but that doesn't mean that all of the documents and things like that will be. What's up, Sam? Kate says, I agree that Richard Allen is potentially both BG and Ski Mask Man. It makes sense. To me, he wasn't done. I'm not going to commit a double murder just, trying to hide something just for me now to have to hide this. But that might have been the case. CJK, that's up to you to decide. I believe that it did happen. I believe that a lot of the information, we don't have a lot of information on the location, what county, what city, so it'd be hard to track down first and foremost. Secondly, we don't know exactly who it happened to, because in the transcript, Keegan Klein's interview transcript, it says a family member associated. And I've received some information I was asked not to share, where this person, this family member, recounts something very similar. Just not precisely what was stated, but there was definitely a ski mask and there was an event that took place. Now, remember, this is a young kid that it happened to. This isn't going to be the young kid calling the cops, right? The kid's not going to go, oh, well, I was talking to Anthony Schatz and he showed up at my house. No. This person's going to call their parents and tell them there's a guy with the ski mask peering in my window. Well, the parents are going to come home. They're going to look in the child's phone, and then they're going to report all the things that they found to law enforcement. So this person's only going to have like a weird remembrance or recollection of what happened. Now, there could be something completely different that was reported to police by her parents and things like that. So I don't expect the young kid to be part of, the conversation that's going on between the parents and the police, is what I'm trying to say. CJK, other girls were expecting to meet them and supposedly ask them where they were. They were all there, but Abby and Libby's paths didn't cross with their friends, or so I've read a few times, or true. I don't know. Kind of. They were there way earlier, so that could have been their motivation. And they were just going to try to meet them. Let's try to catch our friends. But the truth is, they knew by the time they were leaving, their friends were already on their way out of there. But that doesn't mean that they weren't going to make a day out of it, right? But my only concern is that it took them forever to get across that bridge. Took them forever. And it's my understanding that Abby wasn't too experienced. I'm sure she's gone over it once or twice, or maybe that was her first time. But in what it appears to me is that she didn't want to be on the bridge. She was taking her time. Libby was documenting it. Look how brave my friend is. She's doing it. She's making it across the bridge. But why? Why go through all that? Why go across that bridge if you don't want to? You're taking your time. It's cold. Your hands are cold. You obviously have them in your pocket. They probably started walking on that bridge right around 2:02, maybe 2:02, 2:03. So, it took her like 15 minutes to cross that bridge. Probably took Richard Allen, if that's him on the bridge, probably like 3 or 4. But I guess that's my question. Why was she so motivated to cross that bridge? Was it Anthony Schatz? Was it a boy? Was it Logan Holder? Or was it just to support her friend? Libby had been convinced she's going to meet Anthony Schatz out there. Maybe there's another phone involved. We're not able to see this communication. We know that Libby's phone was reset 10 days prior to the crime. Why was that? A lot of strange little details here and there. Kate says maybe the runes were the best Richard Allen could remember to try to be misleading at the crime scene. I just don't understand why putting sticks on a body has anything to do with runes or anything to do with the message. Because usually if you're going to cover somebody, you're trying to conceal them. So if we're even going to talk about Brad Holder, we first need to say that's what we're looking at here. And I'm not convinced. Ooh, that's not what I wanted. You can pretty much tell that this one is a handprint. Handprint, and it just slid this way. And then all this blood that oh wait, hold on. Okay, and then all the blood here that kind of gathered together, looks like it just began to drip down this way. right here. So this is most likely the thumb, index, middle, ring, pinky. And then these fingers being dragged this way. Maybe even down at an angle. So you might even have arterial spray here, maybe even a mixture, maybe even a handprint mixed with some spray coming from the neck wound. So you might have a combination of things. Thank you, 63 Clocks, to super chat. All right. Am I missing anything, guys? We're about to get out of here. Let me go to my notes. Oh, that's what I wanted to talk about. Brad Holder and playing devil's advocate. So they basically said, and I'm going to give you the quick version. Okay, in the memorandum, they talk a little bit about Brad Holder and how law enforcement cleared him early on. So within 15 days, Brad Holder was considered completely cleared by law enforcement. Okay. So one thing that did kind of pop in my mind was the Shauna Howe murder case. Do you guys remember that? A lot of similarities with Delphi. She was an 11-year-old girl from Oil City, Pennsylvania, who was raped and murdered on October 27th, 1992. Howe's kidnapping and murder by being thrown from a bridge became something in Pennsylvania, receiving widespread media attention for over a decade. In September, October 2005, Eldred, Ted Walker, James O'Brien, and Timothy O'Brien were convicted for participation in Howe's murder. So something that was really messed up with this case was early on, these two guys, Ted Walker and James O'Brien and Timothy O'Brien, were basically the number one suspects. Kind of like Brad Holder was. Everybody was looking at him. Had to be him. Look, did you see his Facebook? His son's dating Abby. Had to be him. Oh, well, he was cleared. Well, that's the same thing that was going on with this Eldred Walker, James O'Brien, and Timothy O'Brien. They had been arrested the day that they kidnapped this girl. So investigators thought that they were locked up. But the truth is they made bail. And they were pissed off at the police station and the cops that arrested them. And they were going to go kidnap this girl and, cause a bunch of mayhem within the city, making the police look ridiculous. But during the kidnapping, that's not what happened. They ended up raping and torturing and murdering this girl. And then after they searched for her, they went back to the location that they had just searched and threw her body off a bridge. She was found the following day by a hunter who was making his way back into town or to his parking area. Law enforcement checked on these guys and said, nope, they were in jail. They couldn't have done it. Well, once the case went cold case investigators went back and looked at the case and verified, and nope, they weren't in jail. They had made bail. And not only that, they then ran the DNA and found that they were the killers. Charges were placed, and they were convicted of the murder. So my only question is Brad Holder cleared? But even before that, if you're going to look at Brad Holder, you got to say, is the crime scene even a message from an Odin Knight? I just don't think so, guys. All right. That is all my time today. So I want to thank everybody who was able to catch the live stream. Thank you so much for showing up. Those of you who participated in the chat, thank you so much. And an extra big shout out to Charlotte, Frank Meister, and 63 Clocks. Thank you guys. And if you could, hit the like button on the way out. If you're part of the replay crew, you know what to do. Leave a comment and we'll get back to you. Thank you, Devoted. Thank you, Anything I Like. Patricia, thank you. All righty, guys. Enjoy your Friday. I may or may not surprise you again later today. It's been pretty hectic around here. But if we can get together again later, that'd be great. So we'll see about that. Either way, take care. Have a great night, a great day. Peace.